What's up, boys? It's your boy, Cement Mixer 72, back at it again with another banger. Today, we're doing the Swordsoul deck profile. Look at this beautiful card. Oh my, hold on, get the, oh my. She-shall, looking beautiful. Ignore my hair, boys. I've just had a shower. The reason I'm so hyped, boys, because this is my favourite deck of all time. I looked at my channel, I was like, how have I not done a video on Swordsoul? Guys, I love this deck, boys. It's my favourite deck. Oh, how did you know I was a Swordsoul player? How did you know? That's right, boys. This deck is the GOAT. And that's why I'm excited for this video. I actually missed this deck, guys, in its prime, by the way. I picked this deck up, like, about a year after it was, like, relevant. And I've played it probably the most out of any deck I've ever played, to be honest. I've played a few decks quite a lot, and Swordsoul is one of them. And that's why I'm so hyped for this video. Let's go. Hey. Without further ado, boys, hope you enjoyed this video, and let's get into the video. And here we are, boys, into the deck profile. As you see, the beautiful GOAT themselves. We had the beautiful playmat in the background, obviously, and we have a lovely deck here. Obviously, we'll be starting with the main deck, so go ahead and move the extra out of the way. I've got blue sleeves on today, boys. If you haven't noticed in like all of my recent videos, I've been rocking just these plain sleeves, to be honest, just so it's a little easier to switch out my stables between decks. Without further ado, guys, like I said, this is one of my favourite decks of all time. I can't believe I haven't actually ever made a video on this deck. Like, I picked it up after its prime, if you know what I mean. Like, I picked it up probably a year or two too late. But I've played this deck more than pretty much, like, most of my decks. So, oh, man, I just love this deck. But I just hope it gets support in the future, boys. You know what I mean? I just love this deck, boys. Mo-yee! The GOAT. But without further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, the standard, we're running triple copies of the GOAT, Mo-yee. If my girl and Mo-yee, you know, copy pasta, well, let's not say it, you know, we don't want to get in trouble with the missus. But obviously, triple Mo-yee, your normal summon, you're just, oh, your number one champ right here. You know, you gotta run Mo-yee at 3, obviously. I want to get the secret rare copy of this card, guys, but unfortunately, it's like, it is kind of pricey. And so, for now, I'm still just chilling with the, you know, the humble ultra rare. But, you know, Mo-yee, classic. And obviously the triple long one, you just kind of want to draw this in your hand, right? Because you can special summon it out and you get a free big boss monster just for you. Obviously it's sad that we don't have Baron anymore. Rip Baron, guys, you feel. But obviously we're still running this bad boy at 3. We have the 2 tire. Don't execute me. One of my rarities I've kind of only realised recently isn't the same. It's a super rare and an ultra. So I'm gonna, after this video, I'm actually gonna go buy myself a new ultra rare copy of Tire. I don't know how I've not noticed that, but obviously this card's really nice. It's really good to just special summon out, like get from deck or something, and just get out. Special summon it from the grave, you know, to continue your plays. But obviously you run it at 2 instead of 3 because it's not a starter by itself. It needs sent in the graveyard, so it's better to go into while you're halfway through your combo, or, you know, drawing it on the next turn or something like that to continue your plays. So it's a kind of, it's been a 2 for a while. You know, pretty standard ratios for the Swordsoul monsters, guys. I really want us to get another Swordsoul main deck monster. I think that'd be so cool if we did. But yeah, so there was the main deck Swordsoul monsters. And then obviously we have triple Ecclesia, the Virtuous. Obviously this is basically just 3 more Mo-yee. You know, this card's really nice, obviously. You can, on your opponent's turn, you don't even have to normal summon this. And on your turn, you can just use it as another normal summon. Once again, just makes the deck a little more consistent. And this card recently got some really nice, like, alt arts. So I might cop some of those. But I do kind of like the normal art. And I've already, obviously, 3 copies of this. I know some people run this at 2. I don't know. It is pretty standard, 3, I think. And I would recommend running it at 3. For the consistency. Next up, obviously, we have the other monsters, the Tenyi monsters, guys. So this is one of, you know, the main parts of the deck that's changed over the few years, because, you know, we haven't got direct Swordsoul support in a while, but obviously we did get the Tenyi support, as you know, from the playmat. So obviously we have the triple Ashuna. This card's crazy, you know, your best card, really, but your best Tenyi, one of them. And yeah, you want to open this card plus another Tenyi, and it's kind of full combo, you know, from the lines. So yeah, you definitely want to run this one at 3. Summon it out, go into your monk. But yeah, triple Ashuna, 100% run this card at 3. I would not recommend lowering this. And then next up, we have the new card. We have the Saruya. We have triple copies, obviously, beautiful looking card, might add, and a nice secret rare. I really wish I got that QCR version, but you know, We ain't spending that much money, boys. But yeah, this card's so nice because obviously it's like an extender. So obviously, if you normal summon, move these out of the way. If you normal summon your Moji, and let's say it just got negated, if you have this in hand, you can special summon it out, and then you can straight up go into one of your rank 8s because it's a tuner. And, you know, it's just a really nice card to have. And obviously, yeah, we are running it at free because, once again, you know, it's a free extender. It's one of Swordsoul's only, like, actual extender. You know what I mean? This is the power creep of the modern decks right now. You know what I mean? Most modern decks, every card's an extender. But we get some support and it's an extender. And it's like, yo, finally. You know what I mean, guys? But, yeah, I'm running it at free. Once again, it can be still full combo anyway, because this card's pretty correct. Because obviously, you know, before, right, you would open one of these plus 2 of the other cards that we haven't gone over yet, which is 2 copies of Adhara and 2 copies of Vishula. So this is one of the main changes. I know some people ran 2 copies of this card anyway, but I used to run 3 copies of this card. But now because you have 3 copies of the new Saruya, right, it's kind of free spots that get taken up in your deck, which like weren't being taken up before, if you know what I mean, by engine. So I have cut back and set this to 2, because with a third one, you know what I mean, it take up a lot of engine space. But obviously before, with the combo, you'd special summon this out, go into Monk, and then you could special summon one of these out and special summon the other from deck, and obviously then you go to like your Shishao, or obviously vice versa, you open this, special summon that, and then special summon that from deck. But it doesn't really matter that you're running less copies of this, because even if you don't open any of these, if you open any of these, it's still full combo, because obviously you special summon that out, and obviously you special summon that out, plus you can then, obviously once that's engraved, special summon this out, special summon out your Shatana, which obviously you're still running at 1, and then you can once again go into Shishao. So it's still like, it's not dodgy, you know what I mean, to lower your other Tenyi. But obviously with that explanation, you kind of saw the rest of the ratios. So let's just get those out. Obviously, triple Arjuna, triple Saruya, double Vishula, double Adhara, and now 1 Shatana. And I'm really happy with these ratios. I really like these ratios. I wouldn't change these. Obviously, the only time I would probably change these is 1, if you know you're not running the Shatana, you're running the other one, or 2, you're not running the Tenyis, because you know there's another build I was kind of testing, which is the YUGIOH build, which is quite nice. I haven't made a video on it at all or anything, obviously. I love it. Yeah, this is one of my favourite deck, guys, ever, of all time. I've played so much in Master Duel as well, and I just haven't made a video on that. Do you know how crazy that is? But yeah, these are the ratios I'm going with the Tenyi monsters, and yeah, I wouldn't change them. Next up, we have the one Protoss. So I was debating this card, right? So I kind of like having this card in the side deck instead of the main deck, and I was debating whether or not I should put it in. So take this one with a grain of salt. You can either just main deck it or not. But you know what I mean? Right now in the meta, it's still quite nice to have, because obviously Yummy, this card destroys Yummy. It's just when you verse stuff like Vanquish Soul, right? It's kind of like, oh no. But obviously Vanquish Soul has been hit, and there's still loads of other decks that this card just auto wins against. So it's nice to just have, just in case you need it. And even if you don't summon it turn 1, you can obviously search it once you know what your opponent's playing. And it can, because obviously you can just special summon it out at really any point in the duel. It can, even though obviously you don't want to special summon this turn 1 if you don't know what you're versing, it can still be useful in that duel. So it's a nice card to just think about having. So for now, because it is a broken card, I've kind of kept it in the main deck. Next up, for the hand traps, we're only running 6. This, I can't lie, Swordsoul Tenyi kind of takes up a lot of engine, especially with the new support. So we are only running 6 hand traps. We're just running the free Fua, obviously, because it's the turn ending card, it's a win. And obviously we're running the Ash to kind of counter their Fua. You can run like board breakers as well, I guess, like droplet and stuff, or I guess you could try and fit more hand traps in, but then you're kind of running consistency of Swordsoul. And obviously, as you guys know, Swordsoul's kind of a 2-card combo deck, which is obviously one of the reasons this is kind of power creep now. You know, everything's a 1-card combo deck. But, you know, we don't give up. We don't care if it's 2 cards. We'll draw those 2 cards, boys, because we are Swordsoul gamers. But, yeah, obviously just the most standard hand traps of all time. And next up, we are onto spells. So, obviously, triple Swordsoul Emergence, you know. I don't see anyone ever running less than 3 copies of this. Obviously, it's just your searcher, consistency. You basically need this card. And obviously, the 1 Tenyi Infinity, because obviously you can now search this with the new Tenyi extra deck monster, wee! And obviously with that, you obviously have your Heavenly Dragon Circle and your Vessel. Once again, you only have to run 1 copy of these each. In other older builds, we were running multiple copies of this card. but now it's searchable. Obviously, you can just run one copy of each. And I'm also running the Flawless Perfection of the Tenyi, which is kind of controversial. I know a lot of people don't like this card, but obviously during the end phase, you can just, if you have Tenyi Infinity on field, you can just kind of get this out for free. And if you don't know what this card does, guys, basically, if you're playing a special summons an effect monster while you control a face down monster or a non-effect monster, obviously non-effect monster is your monk or a token, you can draw 2 cards. So it basically just means if they special summon, you get +2. And obviously it doesn't help you going first, if you know what I mean. Don't know, that's why people don't like it, because if you just draw it by itself going first, it doesn't do anything. So it's kind of a brick. But the fact that it's searchable and it's a one-of, I do quite like it. But I can understand why you wouldn't run it. And those are kind of all the engine spell cards. And next up, we are on to the other spells. So I'm still running 2 Pot of Desires. I was looking at some builds, and some people have just cut these out since the new support. But I still kind of like running them. I get that, you know, you could banish your Protos or, you know, one of that you do like. But I like gambling, and I still like Pot of Desires in this deck. And yeah, I've played it a decent amount since the support, and I don't really mind. I still quite like using it. And we're running the Cooled Bite and the Talents, obviously, you know, just beautiful cards, you know, two wonderful cards. And the final card of the main deck is the one Swordsoul Blackout. Obviously, this card's really nice. It's a pop 2, and yeah, searchable once again, so you only need to run it at 1. And this is actually my 41st card. So I was actually running a 44 card deck, guys. I had 3 Imperm along with this, but I decided to take it out and make it 41. Without the Protos in the deck, it's also 40 if you prefer that. Or obviously you can take out the Flawless or, you know, one of the power spells. But I was playing around, and I think I've been trying 41. I've been trying 41 instead of the 44, just for a bit more consistency, you know, drawing my actual engine cards. And yeah, it's been working out so far. So for now, I'm going to stick with that ratio. I could put it down to 40 if I want, but I kind of like the ratios of everything, and it's been working fine for me. So that is the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. And here we are into the extra deck, guys. Also, guys, if you haven't noticed, my voice might sound a little weird today. I do have a bit of a cold, like I'm a bit sick, but, you know, I still have to get a video out for you boys, so just please, you know, ignore my weird sounding voice. But obviously we have the extra deck now. So we have the 01 Shaman of the Tenyi, really nice card. Obviously, this card's just really good for just the grind game and for combos. Like, a lot of the time you can end up dumping your Tire to the graveyard and then use the Shaman's effect, discard 1, revive the Tire, retire, banish, and then, you know, you can continue your plays. So I really like this at 1. Then we have the Goats themselves, the Monk of the Tenyi. I really like this card. Obviously, you can't, I don't know, I kind of want to run this card at 3, guys, always. You know what I mean? I think all Swordsoul players have this feeling. It's like, I want to run this card at 3, but I'm kind of running it at 2. And since cutting down to 2, it's like, it's not that bad, you know what I mean? There are some times you're like, damn, I wish I had the 3rd one. But for pretty much like 95% of duels, you're fine. And obviously we have the 1 Sarasara. Oh man, I butchered that, didn't I? Obviously this card wasn't really ran before, but since the new support, it's really easy to just kind of cheat out. So yeah, you can run it now, obviously. And it's a pretty nice card, you know, offers a bit of protection. So yeah, we just run it at 1, because it doesn't really hurt to. And obviously the 1 SP Little Knight, the staple, the GOAT herself, you know, you kind of have to run this card. And that is the links. Let's move them out the way. Time to go to the synchros, boys. So obviously we have the beautiful Grandmaster Shishao, guys. This card is so beautiful. I finally got it in secret rare. I was rocking the ultra rare versions for a long time, but double Shishao, boom, 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 you know, boom. Had to run 2 of these bad boys. Then the OG boss monster Cheng Ying, Rip Baron, you know, Baron would be here with my boy Cheng Ying, and obviously the actual last piece of support actual Swordsoul got, which is, you know, Sinister Sovereign, long one, you know, the long one extra deck card. This card's nice. Obviously it's not Baron, guys, but it's still a nice card, you know. Can banish 2. And then next up we have the latest Tenyi support. Obviously this card's really nice. Look at that, we've got the QCR version. I hope you boys appreciate that. But yeah, QCR version of the Mula Adhara. This card's nice. Obviously it searches the 2 field spells, so it gives you more combo lines that kind of we didn't have before. My main gripe with this card is it's useless after the search. This card doesn't do anything, guys. Well, it can attack twice, which is cool, I guess, but in a lot of combos, you're just either linking this off, popping it for other effects. It's just, I wish it did something else, guys. You know what I mean? Just one extra cool effect. That's why I feel like if we get direct Sword Soul support, I want one more rank 8 that does something. Because half of the time you're ending on like Shishao, and if you get another level 8, you're kind of going into like, I don't know, like the Berserker. There you go. There's another card that I've got in the extra. Because there's just nothing else good. And a lot of the time, if you draw one of the field spells, right? Sorry about that, guys. I was just adjusting my camera as it was falling. A lot of the time, you just don't want to go into this card, right? Because it doesn't do enough. But yeah, then we have the Berserker. And I'm still running the Psychic and Punisher. You know, it can come up. It can shock your opponent, you know. It doesn't come up too much, really, to be honest. But, so yeah, Psychic Punisher can still come up. So, you know, I still do be running it. But, and then obviously we have the humble Yang Zing line, the loyal trio that have been with us for a long, long time in Sword Soul. We have the Buxia, we have the Yazi, and we have the Xiaofang. And obviously this is your Nibiru line in a lot of lines. If you open the Tenyi cards and the Sword Soul cards, you can choose to just force your opponent to nib a certain spot. And also you can do some crazy stuff, like in some duels I'll Xiaofeng down and Protos, and then just they won't be able to use light or dark, so it's kind of cool. Obviously you have the Yazi, which comes up. Buxy is really nice going first and second. I used to run 2 copies of this card. I really like it. I'm debating. I really do like this card at 2. And like, obviously cards like Psychic and Punisher don't come up really that often. So I'm thinking of bumping this back up to 2 because it's such a nice card. It's a combo piece. It's a going second card. Like, this card is just really nice to have. But yeah, guys, that is the extra deck. And there we go, guys. That was the deck profile. I hope you did enjoy this. And obviously, I do really love this deck, guys. It's one of my favourite. We're in a rough spot right now, boys. You know, trying to play 2-card combo deck in 2025. But I just love this deck. It's my favourite deck, pretty much. Oh man, their artworks are just so nice. So I thought, I just finished my regional, guys, to remember, with Draco Tail. And I have loads of decks just that I own that I have not made videos on. But I thought before I do anything, I wanted to pay respects to the greatest deck of all time. As always, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love Sword Soul, guys. I hope you do too, you know. And I hope we do get new support in the future. But if you do want me to do some more Sword Soul videos, I'm always down. I might do a few gameplay videos. Might even do a combo video, or, you know, like a guide, even though it's a bit late now. But, you know, if you do want more Sword Soul content, don't forget to let me know. And look at this, guys. I just got an Ashen deck core in the mail. How crazy is that? You know, Ashen, yeah. That deck ain't too crazy, but I decided to buy a whole deck core for some reason. But anyway, guys, I'm getting sidetracked. Without further ado, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.